Hey guys, I just wanted to remind you something, that your techniques don't matter at all, really at all. You see, in the world of violent action, in the world of chaos, there are so many variables going on. What's going on internally, what's going on externally, and the myriad things that are invading the circumstance, the things that are inherent to the circumstance. There are so many factors going on, like her escaping. If I was going to use her as a club and she escaped, my strategy would no longer be viable. But the idea is that there is so much going on, you can never even tell how you will react. Now, we train to take the edge off of that. We train to give ourselves an edge. Depends on how you want to define edge, right? It's the idea behind training is to give yourself a little bit of benefit in the fight. Problem is, most of us train very unrealistically when it comes to managing true chaos. And you have to understand that what's important is not the techniques you're using. And when I say techniques, I don't mean the physical technique. What I mean is the strategic or tactical technique. The idea of, if a punch is coming at me this way, I respond with X, Y, and Z. Or if I'm, having an armbar attempted against me, my response is X, Y, and Z. That shit doesn't matter. What matters is that you learn how to recognize the feeling. First of all, the feeling. We are feelers first, thinkers second. And as much as I hate that, the thing is, you have to be able to rely on senses other than logic, because logic fails constantly, especially under stress. So you have to learn how to feel things out, and you have to learn how to recognize openings, you have to learn how to recognize closed doors, you have to learn how to recognize feelings of pressure and removal of pressure. You have to be able to recognize these things without a conscious thought so that you can respond to them appropriately. What you are training really is not whether this punch is better than this punch. What you're training is, how do I execute power? How do I deliver power from my particular place in space, my spinal alignment, my hip drive, my shoulder drive? How do I exercise power? How do I enforce stability? How do I manipulate balance and flexibility? These are the things that matter. If you can make a technique work, that's fine. Because you can do anything if you can do it. But what's important is understanding what you can get away with. It's really what's pushing the limits, and what is truly good structure, what is good balance. Because remember, the thing that matters most is life wants to stay alive. It is the number one goal, period. Stay alive. Technically speaking, it has been observed that the number one goal is seeding the next generation. And if losing your life to do that works, then it'll happen. But understand that for the most part, somebody has to stay alive to create the next generation. And that being the case, life wants to live. And technically speaking, by creating the next generation, life wants to live vicariously by creating replicants of itself. So you have to understand that life wants to live. Is it circular? Yes. Do we have proof of purpose beyond that? No, we don't. So the purpose of life is to remain living. Okay, tell you what, I like being alive. I certainly don't want anybody stopping that. So my number one goal is to be alive. And then while I'm alive, I want things to feel good. I don't like it when things feel bad. So I take care of my health. And I try to reinforce my posture and my structure. I try to be able to exercise power where I need to in appropriate amounts, whether it be lifting a pen or clicking a mouse or lifting a barbell. I'm certainly not going to pick up a pen the same way that I pick up a stone, and certainly not with the same power generation. That would be ridiculous. But you have to understand that for every technique that I have, the technique isn't the purpose. The technique is an expression. The purpose is the underlying principle of what I'm doing. Am I appropriately aligning my primal movements that are innate to me? Am I moving efficiently? Am I exercising strategy that will keep me safe, that will exercise power against my resistance, but keep me safe? Because those are the two main goals. I stay safe, I remove the threat. I stay safe, I remove the threat. Two very important ideas. It doesn't really get much more complicated than that. How do you remove the threat and stay safe yourself? Are there points where you may have to compromise on one or both of those? Yeah, there's always an exception. But you got to understand, it's not the techniques that matter. It's the underlying principles. It's the ideas of learning how to recognize the gift, how to have good structure and balance, good movement, joint health, structural stability, strength, posture, because that's what's going to get you through. Your technique will degrade. Your particular expression will degrade as your energy dumps and as your primal brain takes over. But those deeply trained primal patterns, if reinforced by good training, will take over. And those are what are going to save your life, not your specific, triple backflip, wrist twisting, super finger, pinky bar technique. That's all I got for you. I rambled on long enough. I'll talk to you guys next time. Good journey.